the Alphans go to investigate a gigantic spaceship. They soon learn that the distress call they received has been going on automatic for many years. While Commander Koenig meets the Darians who have survived a disaster that hit their generation starship years ago, he sees the good. He sees the beautiful people trying to preserve their history, including its genetic history. They have a plastic board that's in easy reach of those who might want to shove someone's head through it. Spoiler alert. That contain all of the genetic material of the Darians. So when they reach a planet that can support Darien life, they will start the race over again. But how have these people managed to survive all this time when most of their ship is destroyed and in a state of wilderness? Well, Alan Carter and Paul Morrow find barbarians living in the ruins of the rest of the ship. They, in turn, hunt down and destroy unclean mutations. And that's where we discover the horrible secret of the Darians. Joan Collins and others have been living all this time because of organ transplants from other healthy people in the wilderness parts of the ship. A security guard named Lowry. In Star Trek, Lowry would be a red shirt. Star Trek knocked off people left and right for a thrill. The death of the week. They had our main characters plus one guy go down to a planet, and that one guy would always get killed by the aliens. Space 1999 didn't do that as often. In this case, Lowry is just a security guy who whistles, and he's kind of a happy-go-lucky fellow. Well, he and Dr. Russell get captured by the wilderness people. And then we see one of two dwarves who is obviously unclean to these people and not worthy to be sacrificed to their gods, i.e., the upper class. She's put in a chamber where this blinding white light and this loud noise come in and disintegrate her. Then Lowry is examined, and we see that one of his hands has only half a finger on it. And Lowry is dragged yelling for help, pleading with Dr. Russell to do something, into the chamber. The light gets bright, the noise gets incredibly loud, and he's disintegrated because the upper class doesn't want to use someone like that for their organ transplants or to fill up their genetic bank. I'll leave the rest of it for you to discover. On the excellent website Catacombs of the Moon, the writer discusses that he was inspired by two things: the idea of Aryans, or the pure breed, foisted on the world by the Nazis, and the revelation that the survivors of an airplane crash in the Andes, which was very much in the news at the time, resorted to cannibalism to survive. The Generation Starship story has a long history in science fiction, the most prominent being Robert Heinlein's Orphans of the Sky. Around this time, The Star Lost was a short-lived TV series. In the case of Mission of the Darians, their ship has also undergone a disaster, and it leads to the split in the class system. The killing of the security guard puts it very bluntly that this is what Moonbase Alpha might have to do in a crisis someday. They might have to make truly tough choices, and that could lead into a whole area of, well, who's superior, who's inferior, who gets to live, who gets to be used for spare parts. It's a pretty potent concept, And we like this guy, Lowry. We hardly know him, but his character is sketched in very deftly. So when he's being dragged to his death, we feel something. And at the end of the episode, the other characters have felt something and have a sense of loss about losing one of the limited number of Alphans there are. So, as a commentary on what people will do to survive and what people will do to survive as part of a larger race, I'm not doing this horrible thing for me. I'm doing it to preserve the race. This is the type of 70s and 60s science fiction about human issues. At the end, Carter asked Koenig what would he do in the position of the Darians, and he basically blows it off. Thanks for stopping by. Drop by again soon.